welcome to another episode of WarDice. I'm Gonzo.
And I'm John from WarBudgies.
That's right, you are from WarBudgies. And I actually have to joke about something real quick. So on More Than Dice, the podcast I do every Sunday, my other co-host is named John. And John was talking about WarDice in the last episode. And when I did that, someone messaged me and goes, "That's not John from your channel." And I'm like, "No, that's a different John. I'm sorry if you were expecting John Spencer from the podcast, from More Than Dice podcast to be on there." And they were like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I know. You have to put up with me instead.
You have to put up with him instead. So it was just kind of interesting. So I got to make sure that whenever I put everything in there now, that I'm putting, you know, John WarBudgies John type thing.
Yeah.
But this is episode 5. We had a little break. Real life got in the way, so we're making up time doing our AC episode, which I heard is a quite requested video from us. And I'm going to say that AC was originally my first pick when I was wanting to play Warcaster, but a friend of mine picked AC, and so I went with ISA. And after building the list that I built, I think I'm going to buy this list.
They are a fun faction. Yeah, and also frustrating in their own way.
Yeah, there's so much fuckery going on with them. I just like, this is going to be fun. So, but before we get started, something's coming up in like 3 weeks. John, what is coming up in 3 weeks?
Yeah, is it 3 weeks already?
Yeah, we only have like 22 days, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So we are coming up on Warfare Weekend. It's the big event in St. Louis every year. Was it November, was it the 3rd it starts?
Yes.
Yeah, 3rd through the 6th, I believe, out in St. Louis. It is all sorts of fun. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going along. Yours truly is handling the Warcaster this year, to include the championship and a big narrative battle that's going to decide the fate of part of Jericho Reach at the end of all this.
Also handling the scrambles. You will have an entire row of tables for you to play on. We definitely have a lot of cool terrain this year. We worked really hard. I put together like most of the terrain and then did the core painting, and then my detail crew, Erica and Mizzy, detailed and dry brushed and got everything else ready and, did everything. We're going to have terrain from, Death Ray Design.
Yep.
It has got some terrain, and then we also got the terrain from
Tinker
Turf, yes. Sorry. Brain is still a little fried. And so we have a lot of terrain for that, and so it'd be really neat, so you can play on some really good tables. And also we built some stuff, and we had stuff last year from Tinker Turf, so we'll have some really cool stuff to go around. We'll have some cool door prizes. I do have the trophy for Warcaster and for the championship, and might show this off later, but it is the ISA shield and the ISA sword from the Warjack.
Nice.
Supersized. It's about 10 inches tall, and it'll be put on a plaque that is being done by one of our sponsors and vendors, Jacob Jansen. He created a plaque for it. It's not going to be glued on there, but you can set it on there, and if you want to glue it, you can, because it's going to have the big logo on it, but it'll be nice and see. But it's like bright, metallic gold with a little bit of pop of color in there just to, make it stand out.
Nice.
So, and that'll be the champion trophy. So, other than that, we hope that you come out. If you have any questions, reach out. Come out and play games. You can play as many games. One of the things that we do at Warfare Weekend is you buy a badge and you can play everything. You don't have to buy a badge and a ticket. You just buy a badge, and you want to play a few rounds of Warcaster and then go play Riot Quest or Monpok or, War Machine or any other of the games there, you're more than welcome to.
And spoiler, you want to play Riot Quest.
I just so fun. One of the person that's building the trophy for the Riot Quest tournament just messaged me yesterday and goes, "How big do I need to make this?" And I went, "Yeah."
The answer is yes.
And it's going to be, to give a little spoiler on that, the trophy for Riot Quest is going to be a hand wooden trophy that looks like a treasure chest.
Perfect.
So it'll be something, it kind of fits Riot Quest and all that good stuff. So it'll be fun.
Yep. And the raiding and the looting and all that.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get into the business of AC, which everybody calls it AC, but is actually, what is their full name?
Full name is the Aeternus Continuum, and if I'm mispronouncing that, I don't care.
Neither do I. One of the things we talked about was right before we got started. Is like, do you know how to pronounce all this stuff? Hell no.
No, not a clue. But
No.
I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah, not a clue, but we'll do it.
I'm from Tennessee. I don't pronounce things right anyways.
Well, I want to talk about the aesthetic of this before we get into the fluff, because somebody told me that they consider these guys space pirates, and the way they dress is like, they're wearing trench coats and, helms, and everything's like really dark and mysterious, especially where the Privateer Press painted them, with the black and the red type motif. And I really dig the aesthetic of this army a lot.
Absolutely.
One of the coolest looking jacks, some of the coolest looking solos, some of the weirdest looking solos too.
True.
It kind of breaks the norm in, like, I kind of want to call them goth pirates. So, but you're the fluff man. What's the cool stuff on this?
Well, the fun part for me is when I'm introducing someone to a demo game, I typically bring just a starter set from each of the three first factions. And I get to explain to them, this is the ISA, they're like the Empire. These are the Marshals, they're like the Rebels. And they're like, cool, who are these guys? Well, this is the Murder Cult. And every reaction I get is just pure gold from that. But that's essentially what they are. So the Aeternus Continuum is the last of the three factions of humanity that we're covering. And whereas the ISA figured out that they're going to preserve humanity through order, and the Marchers decided to preserve humanity through independence, the AC has decided to preserve humanity through immortality. They have this whole religion and temples and cult and hierarchy set up all the way from their leaders down to the vassals, your lowly scum at the bottom, but they are all in pursuit of immortality. And you can see that in the models a lot because they'll replace a lot of their limbs with mechanical appendages.
Yep.
So if you look at just your standard squad of raiders, there's random mechanical hands and legs and all sorts of stuff, all the way up to the Marauder. The Marauder's encased in this, like, almost a set of power armor that's going on.
Yep.
I'm not going to try to visually describe what the Devine Tempest looks like, but go Google Warcaster Devine Tempest. You'll get what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's the Cadre box introduced some pretty interesting new models that, or you're just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. But as a result, they can go in this really kind of exotic, weird, there's cloaks and hoods, and it just looks like a secret faction overall. And they play like that. They can't go toe-to-toe with anybody. But the amount of shenanigans in this stupid army.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, which, getting a full look at it and, building and going through it, I was like, damn, I really like this. This is going to be fun. I want to play this. I think I'm going to buy my list.
I usually introduce them to people as the shenanigans faction. So the ISA is the all-rounders, Marchers, the ranged faction. These guys are the shenanigans faction. They've got cool tricks that can take a while to learn how to use them properly. But once you do, you can frustrate the crap out of your opponent in really fun ways.
So let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty on this.
Right on.
So, of course, the cadre.
Yeah, let's go ahead and address the giant psychotic cybernetic elephant in the room. Gonzo took 2 cadres, you lunatic.
I had to. Okay, so I took 2 of them because something that people understand, the AC is like a very average to low stat.
Yes.
Compared to a lot of other factions. Jacks aren't like really heavily armored, and it's harder to get them, armored up. The troops are kind of base stats, a little bit here and there, but it was like the best thing for me to do is take 2 cadres and just go nuts with them.
Yeah. And I'll admit, the cadres for this faction are astounding.
Yes. So like the base troops, the Talons. One,
yes.
Cool looking models, neat looking models, but they're a unit that has an arc relay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's only 8 inches, but their speed 7.
Yeah. and they want to be up in your face anyways.
Yes. And what's funny is the one thing that I have to say that this army has to synergize with each other to do the fuckery.
Yes, that's where the shenanigans start, is knowing what works with what.
Yes, because the Devine Tempest, if it ends its activation within 10 inches of this, the unit is charged. And, the unit is charged, and you do not place an activation token on the Devine Tempest. That's pretty fucking powerful, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their weapons, 1-inch range, POW 4, which is great for a melee weapon. And then you can spike to reposition the model hit. And you lose cipher cards on that model unit.
Yes.
Or unit, didn't say, just says a unit. Which is really good. But they're super fast. Defense is pretty decent. It's a 4. It's not a 3. Matt's a 4. They can haul butt. And they get where they need to go.
Yeah. I think there's nothing super astounding about them, but their main job is to throw Fury Ciphers around and escort the Devine Tempest.
Yeah. And, the one thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about this right now, is the attachment that you can put with them. Because I think you can put, was it the Relicon? Relicon or whatever?
Yeah, again, we don't know how to pronounce this. Privateer Press, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Yeah. Speed 7, average stats, armor 4. Yeah. Base size is 40 millimeters. It's got 2 health. When it's charged, you can channel Fury through the model within 10 inches of this model. And immediately draw another cipher card.
Yeah.
That, to me, is awesome. That, to me, is like beyond belief really, really cool. I like that a lot.
And you can do that twice in a turn, technically, if you have the Furies for it.
And then, the model is charged. Any friendly unit activates within 10 inches. You can charge it up with an arc. Even better.
It's almost like the March World's Warder we talked about.
Yep. And it does have slip displacer, so it can, move, once per activation. 3 inches. Okay, yeah, all right. Its weapon, it's kind of small too. It's only range 8, POW 4. It does corrosion, but it's a spray weapon, and you know how I love spray weapons. This is an acid flamethrower. It's got corrosion and spray, 2 of my favorite things to ever see on a gun. Yeah. So it's only range 8. Yes, good. Yeah. Because I wouldn't want to screw around with this thing otherwise. Yeah, I really like this attachment. I could see putting this attachment out almost every single time. Yeah. It only goes with the Talons, so if you have the Talons, you need to be using the Relicon. Yeah, because they work so well together. So good, so good. Yes. Now, the next one, this is interesting because it's the Synturions. Yes. One big beefy guys with halberds. Okay, cool. I like that. But they're only a 2-man squad, which is, a little bit different. Not a problem. Yep. Speed 5, Mat 5, Rat 3, Defense 2. Defense 2, Armor 4. They're basically like Marauders. Yeah. They'll get hit, but they have an Armor 4, so it's not too bad. Yeah, and they're back in 3 health apiece, so you got 6 ablative wounds right here. Yeah. So, they've got a little bit of chunk to them. They have the Rites of Vengeance, just like anything else. When a model is destroyed within 10 inches, they can spike to remove its activation token. Hey, love that. And then they have Self-Sacrifice. And, they're pretty much like a shield guard. Yeah. Is pretty much what that is. The Fusion Halberds. Okay. Range 2. Understandable. POW 5. And Cleave. Yep. POW 5 with Cleave. At that point, I don't care there's only 2 of them. Yes. Because they're going to do some damage. They go up against troops, they'll wipe out that unit, no problem. Yes. No problem whatsoever. So, I like them. They're cool looking, too. They're chunky boys. They are very cool. They look like bodyguards. They really do. Yeah. They sell that immediately. And then the Nekosphynx. The Nekosphynx, yeah. So, tell me, how would you describe the Nekosphynx in the model?
It is a big angry robot cat. Thank you for asking. It looks almost like something out of like old school Transformers.
Yeah.
Like it's got that metallic kind of a sleek look to it and all. It's a gorgeous. I would honestly love to get the model just for the model.
Yeah.
But it makes a fun counterpart to the Raker.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
so
the attachment dog.
yeah, because I mean, it's a solo.
Yeah.
Deployment cost is only 1, so it makes it really good. It is on a 50 millimeter base, so it's a big boy.
It's a chunk. Yeah.
Has Pathfinder, Stealth, and Weapon Expert. Really good.
Yes.
Shadow Phaser, which is really cool. It can spike, to move anywhere within 8 inches of its current location.
Shadow Phaser is my favorite part about this model.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It's a blink.
Yes. He will be wherever your opponent doesn't want him to be.
Correct. And then Void Spiral. When you sit with an enemy attack while charged, he gets to reposition 2 inches. Protects himself pretty well.
So it's like if Justicar Voss was a robot cat, and I can't believe I just said that sentence.
Weapons, I really like Phase Pounce. Phase Pounce is stupid fun. Range 10, POW 4. Has Gorge, so when it destroys an enemy model, it removes 1 damage. Great. Mm-hmm. And then when it attacks this weapon, before the attack resolve, you can reposition the model within 2 inches of the model hit. Yeah, I like that. Yep. Oh, you think you've got yourself protected over there, and nope, I'm phase pouncing and striking around and moving around.
Yes. I can spike to move 8, I can pounce to move 10, or 12, technically, if you want to put them on the far side.
Yeah, depending on the base of the size of the model that you're attacking.
Yeah. My favorite part about this, though, is the implication that this thing can jump 20 inches.
Yeah.
Because it's narratively, it's a melee attack. With range 10, you don't have to use phase strike. So I don't know what the scale is to the game, but theoretically, this thing could pounce forward 10 inches, bite the crap out of something, then phase right back and be where it was.
And then it's got its claws. 1 inch range, POW 4. Good. And it can remove, it has Gorge on that too. It just heals itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good, solid thing. What was the other? There was one more thing in there that I forgot to put in this. Not the Devine Tempest. That's.
It should be the only thing left for the cadre.
Was it Devine Tempest?
Yeah, it's a smaller cadre, I think.
Yeah, it's a small one. So the Devine Tempest, I've actually painted one of these up and I gave it to my friend Mizzy. I used Turbo Dork's metallic red paint. I don't know if anybody's seen that. I think I posted it up on the Warcaster page, and I painted it up for her. It was kind of like a little gift. This model I love to death. It's cool as shit looking.
Yeah,
but it's a badass model.
Yes.
Speed 6.
Yeah. Before we get into the stats, if you are facing an Aeternus Continuum player and they put this on the field, just start screaming. You will save time for yourself later.
Yeah. It's a weird model because it's very unique. Besides look, the stats wise, I mean, it's speed 6, mat 5, armor 5, focus 5.
Yeah. Not one of those numbers makes sense, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm like 6, 5, 5. I mean, rat you don't care about. Defense, yeah, it's a 3, which is very common with AC. Cost 2 to bring out, so it's not too expensive. But it's got 4 health.
Yes, armor 5, 4 health. You heard that correctly.
Yeah. Ignores rough terrain when making range attacks. Ignores stealth, and it's a weapon expert, so it uses all of its weapons.
Yeah.
Arc relay of 12, which is really good for AC. It gains +2 defense against melee attacks from warriors, even cooler because this is a scary bitch. The interesting part is the Rites of Sorrow.
Yeah,
this is where the kicker is, and you have to be very careful. When you deploy it, it must be placed within 5 inches of a friendly Talon model. And at the end of the small's activation, it destroys one of those friendly models.
Or it destroys itself.
I think I would rather destroy a Talon than this model.
Yeah. So when you're done screaming, just start shooting Talons.
Yes. You got to get rid of what has to happen, because I don't know the fluff on this model, but if I was a Talon, I would run 2. I'd be like, fuck, who let the Divine Tempest out? Let's start with the weapons. Weapons are pretty good. Whispers of Annihilation, range to 12, POW 4, really good. The really cool part is you don't care if they kill a Talon because you got Psychoclasm. And if you destroy an enemy model with an attack with this weapon, the model can spike to replace the destroyed model with a smaller medium-based solo from your reserves.
Yes.
Really, really cool.
So I took 3 Marauders for exactly this purpose. I want this thing to just run around and just poof Marauders into being.
Yeah, and that's, to me, it is so unique and such. Like I said, this is the army that, best way, they fuck around and find out a lot.
Yeah.
Then you got the 2, which I think is hilarious to the name, Keys of Hell and Death.
In case we were too subtle with the Whispers of Annihilation, here's the Keys of Hell and Death.
Yeah. Energy weapon, range 2, POW 5. Great stats on that. It has high intensity.
I love high intensity.
Yeah. 2 power dice per 1 arc. Yes, please. And then it can charge itself after the attack resolved if it's not already charged. So you're like, okay, let's spike, go in, kill, charge back up again.
Yep.
I really love this model. This model is so cool. And the ability for this thing to do what it does, this package is the reason why I took 2 of them.
Yes. I completely agree with you on that. You're still a lunatic, but I agree with you.
I'll agree with that.
This model is like if you put an Immortal Weaver and a Heavy Warjack into a transporter accident. This is what you would get out.
Yeah. So I took 2 more troop units. And
okay, want to go to squads?
Yeah, for the squads. Let's go to squads next.
Cool, because the squads are weird.
Yeah. I looked at other stuff because I'm like, okay, I need more squads, more troops to do stuff. And I was looking at all the squads. And I'm not really impressed with a lot of the squads. Their base squads. So I was looking at it. I was like, you know what? I think the ones I'm going to take, and I'm going to take double of them, is Raiders.
Raiders, yep.
1, speed 6, average, that low 2 armor that AC is known for. A little bit higher cost. They're cost 2, not bad still. They can take a Raker or a Quartermaster. And let's talk about the Raker real quick.
I love the Raker. It's the goodest boy.
It's got decent stats. 4's Rat 2. It can go with any of the Vassal Raiders, Reavers, and Witch Hunters.
Yep. It's going to look out of place, though, because it's a 50 millimeter base.
Correct. It's like, you walking around with a dragon.
Pretty much.
It gains stealth if it's charged. It can phase shift, and it has a spotlight, so it gets rid of stealth within 10 inches. Mandibles are not bad. It does have lockdown, which is a really cool effect, and it's range 1, POW 4.
Yeah.
I don't see myself bringing this with my vassals, because Vassal Raiders, for the simple fact that they're range weapon. So their special abilities, of course, they have Mimic Cloak and Phase Sequencer. But their Spiker is range 14, POW 4. You want to reach out and touch somebody? They can.
Yes.
20-inch threat on that? Yes, please.
Honestly, I would still bring the Raker just because I tend to get my models into combat whether I want to or not. It's like a reflex for me. And just the Raker's just a nice beat stick to pair up there. I mean, he's armor 4, the rest of the squad's armor 2. Like, every time I fielded him, he has outlived the squad he's with.
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't because I would use them as a hit-and-run squad.
Yeah.
Run where I need to, shoot. Another thing that is kind of cool is, you're going to see this throughout the entire army. You spike, and they cause corrosion.
Yes. The AC has so many ways to cause corrosion, and I absolutely love it because armor is a big deal in this game.
Yes. Especially
when you've got someone like Gonzo running around with Morning Stars with 2 shields and armor, 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, this is an a model and a unit that you were like, oh, your armor 6, spike.
Yeah. Let's do the math again.
Which is good. I mean, it kind of gets them going with it.
Exactly.
And so I only took 2 Vassal Raider units as good hit and run, and they can, reach out and touch somebody pretty much anywhere on the table.
Yeah. So I actually took the same thing. I took exactly the same thing. 2 units of Vassal Raiders. I like the Vassal Witch Hunters, put it this way. I've got a unit of them. The models are cool. Their little rifles are really cool. The problem is their movement, 4, I think? Let me get them pulled up and all that before I start talking out of the outside of my face.
Yeah, speed 4, and then 3s and 2s.
So they're speed 4. They're otherwise the exact same as the Raiders. Their gun is the same POW, but 2 inches less range. And it's got the Malefactor on it. So if you hit them, Cipher cards expire. Yeah. That's a really situational thing compared to I inflict corrosion on you, which breaks everybody.
Yes.
So I think if I had to choose between the 2, and obviously I do because we're making lists, I'm going to give it to the Raiders most every time.
Yep. Did you choose any other troops?
I did not. I just took those 2, but I did pair them up. Once we get talking solos, I paired each one up with a Vassal Boss because, my God.
Let's go and talk about Vassal Boss.
Let's do that because this is a fun part of the conversation.
This right here, when I was reading everything and putting together and getting your stuff, I was like, Vassal Boss. Yes, yes, hell yes, hell yes. Okay, I can see why I would take 2 of these because I did take 2 of them.
Yes, Gonzo saw the Vassal Boss and is now signed up for the AC as a Vassal Boss himself.
Yes.
You may now refer to him as Vassal Boss Gonzo.
Vassal Boss Gonzo. So, I mean, basic stats. Speed 6, Rat 4, everything else is 3s.
Yep.
2 health, nice. He automatically comes with stealth, and he's a weapon expert. And then the special rules. This is where I was like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Battle Commander. While within 10 inches of this model, friendly squads gain Sidestep special rule. Sidestep lets them move an inch, after the attack is resolved. Very fun. Anything that you can give a unit for free, I'm all for it.
Yes.
And 1 inch, yes, can change a game. But, that's just something you have to do. Another thing, command interface. You know how I love to get rid of activation tokens.
Yeah. This model is basically a Paladin Commander for Vassals.
Correct. And then my favorite, I love this ability, is the phase sequencer. You can just spike to move through a building.
Yep.
Other models, doesn't care. He's like, screw you. I see you on the other side of the building. I'm now going to go ahead and hit you.
That's usually, when I explain to people this is the shenanigans faction and they say, what do you mean? That's what I point to. Like, these squads right here, they can walk through walls.
Yes.
It doesn't help you when you're getting shot full of bullets, but when it comes to navigating terrain, it's amazing.
Correct. I like that. It's just such a douchey thing to do.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it, too. 2 heavy submachine guns. Range 10, PAL 3, so kind of on the low side. But it has armor piercing and ignores line of sight and cover when attacking.
Yep.
When it's charged. I'm like, okay, don't care about your cover. You're on the other side of a building and I can see you. Sure. And, armor piercing. Anything you can do to drop armor down by 1 is well worth it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I took 2 of them.
Yes, I took 2 of them as well just to pair up with the Raider squad.
Yeah. I also took 2 Grafters. How many Grafters did you take?
I did not take any Grafters, which breaks my heart a bit because I adore that model so much. I love that model. But every time I brought him, this is just a John thing, every time I brought him, he's done very little and he's died. And that's just dice rolls.
Yeah. I mean, he is an average. He's a speed 5, 3s on everything. But you want to keep this guy so close to your army. He is going to be packed in because of his special rules. I mean, Adrenalizer is great. While you're within 5 inches, you gain +1 armor and no continuous effects. And any continuous effects that are on him immediately expire, which is really good.
It's great against someone like me who likes to set everything on fire.
Correct. But I mean, he has to stay close to those warrior models. 5 inches is, it's okay, but I mean, it's not super close.
He's going to be in the business, yeah.
He can repair friendly models, really good, because you roll 3 dice and each strike, of course, isn't. What I really like is a resurrection protocol. Target a unit within 10 inches and can spike to return up to 2 destroyed non-attached models.
Yeah.
So I could see this guy walking around next to the Divine Tempest going, quit killing my friends, quit killing my friends, quit killing my friends.
Exactly. Him bringing back Talons would be boss level.
Yes.
And there's a Cypher card we'll talk about later on that lets you sacrifice a grunt to bring out a solo, and this is a great dude to just patch that hole right back up.
Yeah. His melee weapon, non-existent. It's a bone saw, range 1, power 3.
Yeah, if he's in a fight, you're not using him right. Or you're desperate. Also possible.
Okay. But the Resurrection Protocol, the Repair, and the Adrenalizer, to me, is a must-have.
Yes.
Especially since AC has low armor to begin with.
Yeah, that armor, too. You will learn to hate blast weapons.
Yes. Did you take any wild cards in yours?
Did I take wild cards? I didn't take any of the true wild cards. I took some of the double factioners. So I took Harlan Sek, which I think we've talked about on one of the previous shows. Yep. He is just a giant basket of nonsense.
Yep.
I took Baron Morgrave because I love both the models, actually. I have a tough time picking which one's my favorite. He's just this incredibly dapper individual with gorgeous hair and a sword that eats people.
Did you buy the special edition one at Adepticon?
I did. He'll actually be in one of the battle reports coming up.
Okay. Yeah, the vampire version I did too. He's on my table waiting to be painted.
Oh, it's nuts. I love that.
Yeah. I did not take any one of those, but I did take Axel for hire just because he's balls good and he provides good range support.
He's really never a bad choice.
No. He's not. But then, of course, I had to take two of the coolest solos I've ever seen model-wise in a game.
And I think I took the same ones.
Yeah. The Hiertheos Raxis.
Raxis, yep.
Yep. I love this model, the look of it. It's just like, I am superior to you. Bow down. Okay, now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. He has no face and still looks smug.
Yeah. It just looks great. Stat-wise, speed 5, defense 2, which is kind of thing, but is a focus 4, armor 4, rat 4, and mat 3.
Yeah.
3 health. The good thing is it's only one deployment cost.
True.
Has Pathfinder. Great. It should, the way it floats around the board. It is an arc relay of 13, which is really, really good. Because you're going to want to keep this person back far away for the most part.
Yeah.
If the model is charged, friendly models within 5 inch of it gain cover, which to me is kind of that, yes, he is going to be up there, but he's going to be behind cover himself.
Right. He needs to go with buddies.
Yeah. But he's going to have to hide so he doesn't get sniped out and just destroyed along the way.
Yeah. And if you're thinking, wow, this model doesn't sound so bad, wait till we continue.
Yeah. And then you can have up to 6 Cypher cards in your hand at any time. Even better.
Yep. Hand sizes up.
Yep. Spike to use Thanotech. Direct when you can immediately return a Cypher card in your discard pile into your hand. I don't know how awesome that would be in any of my other games because I know I'd use a card at the beginning of it, or I used it last round and I need it this round.
Mm-hmm.
So walk up, spike. Crap, I really need that card. Get it at the end of the thing. Play this card.
Yeah. Now there's a lot of different ways to use this. My favorite way to use it is to double tap Furies. So the opening Cypher, cast a Fury through him, say Instability Equation, boom, nice blast. You discard it. On his turn, you pick it back up. Into the turn, you play it again.
Yeah. It's really good. I like this. I mean, 1, it's a cool model. 2, it's got some good, I'm going to mess with you.
Yeah.
And then one of my most favorite models, Phaetheon, the Whisper of Death. I love this model. Cool model to look at. Even better to play with, in my opinion.
And when he says model, what he means is plural models.
Models.
Yes, because this guy does not have time to bleed or die. He's got too much killing to do.
Yeah. Deployment cost of 1. Great. Stat-wise. Speed 6, mat 5, rat 4, defense and armor of 3. Higher end on the start, but lower end on the bottom, like usual. 3 health. Of course, weapon expert, which is going to be. And this is the first size of it. When this model is destroyed, you replace it with Wraith. We'll get to Wraith in a minute. But you can immediately charge Wraith Pantheon if this model was charged, which is really cool.
Right.
While this model is charged, gains stealth, and of course has Phase Stalker, so I can move 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Weapon-wise, heavy pistol, range 8, PAL 4. Yeah, okay. Sword, which is cleave, range 2, PAL 5. You know, we love our 5s. And cleave and siphon power.
Yeah.
Great. Please kill this guy. Especially when he's really close to you.
Yeah,
Please
so
kill this guy.
when it comes to wargaming, we like to say, like, you want to put your opponent in the position of making difficult choices. The difficult choice with this guy is, do I let him just run around as the dude, or do I kill him and make him worse?
Yeah.
He's so much worse.
Yeah, I would try. There was a while back, I used to, do you want to take a free strike when I was playing Warcaster? And they were like, yeah, and I played Grimkin, and so it was always, throw it on the card to, get them to, cause problems to himself. And this is a character that's like that. You're like, do you let him go around destroying everything he's around him because you don't want to bring out the Wraith, or do you want to bring out the Wraith and then try to destroy the Wraith as quickly as possible?
Mm-hmm. Because welcome to Halloween, folks. He comes back as a ghost.
Yeah. Has flight and stealth. Great. Stat-wise, got a little bit better. Armor is still 3, but he's a speed 8, mat 5, and double 4s on ret and defense.
Yeah.
He's incorporeal. He can move through models and structures, no problem. And he also gains +3 armor against all things of ballistic, cold, corrosion, explosion, fire, and kinetic.
He's basically armor 6.
Basically.
I think energy is the one we're missing.
Yeah.
But good luck with that.
Ghostbuster. I mean, that's what I'm going to call it. It's a Ghostbuster problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you thought he was annoying beforehand, running around stealing your arc, now he's an armor 6 ghost. Good luck.
Yeah. +2 defense against warrior models. Really good, because you're in a defense 6 then.
Yep.
Can spike to use phase shifter. And after advancing during its activation while charged, it can make 1 melee attack against every model it moved through. I love that.
He's got scything run like a freaking Scythe does.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. I'm like, you're bunched up. Here, let me fly across you. Boo.
You want to put this guy into combat as soon as possible. You can take advantage of his death, of his mat, just lawnmower. Just turn him into a lawnmower.
Yeah. His melee weapon, Death Touch, range 1, power 4, does corrosion damage, but it has Gorge, so it can heal itself.
Yep.
This one, like I said, this model is, this is where you go to your friend. Do you fuck around and find out, or do you just let me kill you with the base guy?
Yeah. You want this guy in melee with warriors, with squads, because then he's running Def 6, Armor 6 functionally, and he's just consuming them for health.
Yeah. I really, really like this guy. Plus,
he is bonkers.
Still a great, cool model. One of the coolest models, you get 2 models, but you get a giant ghost and then a guy with a giant sword.
Yep. He was right behind the Dino Rider in things that I noticed about that last Kickstarter.
Yeah. Did you take any vehicles this time?
I took a Scythe.
Just a Scythe. You didn't take the hero?
I did not. I took the Scythe with Heavy Displacer because that's the model I have, and I'm super fond of it. If you've been watching the Jericho Reach narrative series, you'll know I call him Sobek, and he's a psychopath. And every time I put him into on the field, he does work.
I took the hero.
Yeah.
Because, I like this model. It's really cool. It's kind of chunky, but that huge scythe on the side is really good. So I took this one, and the weapon I gave it was a Heavy Displacer.
Yep.
I like that. I like it because it's just a simple range 15, power 4 dislocator. Great. I fly around, I hit you, I reposition you.
I'll tell you, I added that on there specifically for race mode, and I'm really pleased with it just in any application.
So stat-wise, speed 8, great. Mat, rat, defense, and focus of 4. Yes, you heard it. Focus of 4. Defense 3. Has flight. Can arc relay up to 10 inches. So, 18 inches base threat on an arc.
Yep.
It can spike to use Phase Stalker. Cool. Has a scything run, so I'm going to fly over you and slice everybody across. While charged, of course, but I'm all for it. Has a heavy fusion blade. Range 2, POW 5.
Mm-hmm.
Love our 5s. But then the maneuvers come in. I love these maneuvers.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to get a little nuts.
Evasive action, reroll defense rolls. Cool. Force engine, which I really love. +4 speed, but suffers 1 point of damage. Okay. You have 4 health, so go down to 3, but to do that and do a 12-inch scything run is pretty legit. Then you got low flying, which is really good. You lose flight and scything run, but you gain power dice against models without flight.
Right.
Really good for taking, jacks and stuff like that out if you need to. The Meditations of Annihilation, it immediately gets a charge if it's not charged. And then wing roll. Pretty much when you get attacked, you can, the model can even make an attack targeting the model that was hit. Really good. It's got some ways that it can, save itself, but also it's got some ways it can really screw with people.
Yeah, he's a good all-rounder, especially for a vehicle.
Yeah. I only took one because I could see that this could be a little bit of a problem. I mean, it is one vehicle and it is a hero, but it's a lot of points and everything. It is 3 to come out, but it's not too bad. But since it's a hero, you got to be careful not to go balls to the wall with it.
It really is, and that's one of the things about vehicles just in general is you have to be careful about just the physical size of them, how much space they take up, being able to maneuver, do what you need to do. It can be tricky.
Yeah. So, Jacks.
The Jacks, yeah.
What did you take? Because I took 2 of one thing, and I think you took 1 of the other.
So I took 1 of each of the light and the heavy, the Scourge and Nemesis, and they're the same ones I use in the Jericho Reach reports because I've gotten to know them, and I just like them as kind of just general problem solvers. They don't tend to disappoint very often. So I'll start off with the Scourge, affectionately known as the Salsa Maker, because this dude, there was a battle report a couple episodes ago. He ended up fully charged, tuned up, and he was just, annihilating everything. Because part of the fun about the Scourge is it's one of the few models that comes with an innate melee attack. Mm-hmm. So I kit mine out with a nailer and a rocket pod on the shoulders. So it's just a basic shooty gun and then a blast weapon on the shoulders. Give him the force rod on his arm so he can slam stuff back with repulsor. He's got the mechanical claw, the big grabber claw on his other arm. And I give him the killer cortex. So it adds relentless. Every time he kills someone in melee, he gets to take step. And he can eat up ground. He can eat up units. You triple stack him. He gets +1 POW on his melee weapons for every arc he's charged with. Mm-hmm. He's disgusting. Yeah. In the best possible way, of course.
Yep. So mine, I took 2 Nemesis because I'm an asshole.
Nemesis? Nemesi?
Nemesize.
I don't know the plural of nemesis.
Yeah. Nemesi.
And tell me about your Nemesi.
So I really, one, the model's really cool. I love the fins and all that stuff.
God, yes.
They're super, super good. Really good stats. Besides defense and armor, kind of low, but it is a speed 6. 4 deployment cost and a health of 5. So it's healthy. Has flight. And one of my favorite things of this entire model is Afterburner. Oh my God. You can spike to use Afterburner, and your speed is tripled. Can't make any attacks, but to me, I don't think that's a problem for the simple fact that, you're about to drop off that person into that zone, but you can't be contested. I'm there. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, there is a card that gives you +2 speed. That could be, your speed 8 then, and triple that, you're across the board. Yeah. And being flight, you don't care where and who and what.
Exactly.
I did make 2 versions. I took one of a more melee version and one of a more ranged version. So my first one is a Beholder, which gives +2 range to all range weapons.
Never a bad idea.
No. And then I took 2 Obliterator cannons. And there's a reason why. It's range 12, PAL 5, and has repulsor on it. So it slams models as soon as you hit them. I'm just thinking of this model. I'm going to fly on top of this building. Oh, you've got a jack on top of that building. I'm going to hit it with an Obliterator cannon, knock it off, let it take fall damage.
Yeah. We're talking about air superiority. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah. This thing is really good. I mean, not only do you get to do damage with the weapon, you get to do damage for the collateral, the collateral damage.
Mm-hmm. Or the fall damage.
Yeah, or the fall damage. I mean, so it's range 14 technically. And then the other thing, I wanted to put some other stuff on there, but you just don't have enough points. So I took the Stinger Cannon.
Okay.
And the reason why I took the Stinger Cannon is it is only range 12 with the head and POW 3, but you get to reroll attack rolls with the weapon because it has target.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit extra, and that more is a take out trooper type stuff.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Starburst missiles, but without the blast.
Correct. But I like it because I like 2 Obliterators. They're just so good. I mean, so good.
Yeah, you might as well just bring a pool queue and just start pushing your opponent's models around.
Yeah. My other one was the Nemesis, and I took it with a Ghost Head. Gain stealth. A jack with stealth is great.
Yes.
Of course, 2 Obliterators. I can't get away from them. They're just so
You're
good.
a bad person, Gonzo.
And this is my melee version, so I took them with 2 Fusion Scythes. Because this is the one that's going to fly up, hit, and, attack, and then blow you up.
Yes.
With the Obliterator cannons. So range 2, POW 4. Still good size. I've noticed that using the Nemesis, it doesn't like fill the role like the ISA. Like this is a complete defensive jack, or this is a complete melee jack.
Right.
These jacks don't fill a role; they fill a job. And the Fusion Scythe, okay, I'm gonna fly, I'm gonna hit you, and then I'm going to blow up the things that I came even closer to.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I want 2 of them, and I'm going to put them in there.
Yeah. Now, I'll go and put this out there. The Nemesis does take some crap usually when you're sitting around talking with your buddies because it is a heavy warjack with Def 3, Arm 3.
Correct.
Which is not that beefy compared to something like the Sentinel that will not die when you're running around with armor 5 or 6 and you can shrug off damage and all that. But it's so good at doing shenanigans. Yep. It's amazing at it. Like it is everywhere you don't want it's everywhere your opponent doesn't want a warjack to be, you can put this thing.
Before we get into the rack, the defense pylon, they're mantlet.
I actually like theirs.
I mean, it's not bad. Defense 1, armor 4. 1 cost, 2 health. Arcane Parasite, which is kind of neat. When an enemy cipher targets model within 3 inches of it, you can charge your friendly unit within 3 inches of this model. Not bad.
Right. Basically steal the energy, I guess.
Yeah. And while within 2 inches, you gain compound armor advantage. Not one of the best ones, but still is in.
Yeah, so the Arcane Parasite, and actually I'm going to use this to segue into our talk about the cipher cards.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very cool, but very seldom, with the exception of Furies, which is roughly a quarter of your opponent's deck. With the exception of Furies, you're not going to run into a case often where you'll be using this, or I haven't, rather.
Yeah.
Where I really want this unit to get shot by Fury so I can steal the energy. It's like, okay, they're all dead from Instability Equation, but at least I'm charged now. It just feels kind of weird. And actually, so to segue in, I used most of the AC specific cards when I built the rack here, but the one I did not use was Hallowed Desecration.
Yeah.
It's a harmonic. You target a friendly unit, they get +2 armor against Fury attacks, and you can charge them when they get hit by a Fury attack. And it's got the same kind of problem to it. +2 armor for this army is amazing. However, there's just so few cases where I want them to be getting hit by a Fury that I've never taken it.
My rack is very similar to all my other racks with just pretty much the AC versions in here. Removing tokens, be able to, redeploy models, that type of stuff. There seems to be a set of cards that I'm always going to choose.
Yes, and we've done 3 episodes on armor building. You guys know most of the generics by now.
Yeah. And so there's the generics. So we're not going to go over those. But I'm going to go over the Cypher ones that are, faction specific.
Yes.
Acheronian Venediction, I think is how it is.
The geometrics? Yeah. We're going to start with those.
Yeah, I'm just choosing. I just chose the ones and brought them out, the ones I took specifically. Yep. You target a friendly squad. When one or more effective models are destroyed by an attack, immediately after the attack is resolved, the attacking model suffers 1 point of damage. Free damage is always great.
Yes. Especially against some of your high def, high armor stuff, you don't have to worry about that. They just take a damage.
Yeah. I don't have to roll. I don't have to do anything. And it's a friendly squad, so if you're going to try to wipe out the squad, whatever is trying to wipe it out is going to take a point of damage.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. That's my favorite one. Did you take
There's not much to not like about it. I haven't had a chance to really use it in a game yet, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah. It's a good... All right. Find out.
Yep.
Annihilation Vortex. I like this.
Annihilation Vortex, yes.
It is a Fury. It is only power 3. You target any model in range. Make an attack roll against the target model. If the attack hits, immediately after the attack resolved, you can reposition the model anywhere within 3 inches. Always great to control your opponent's army.
Yes.
Whether they like it or not.
Especially in a game like this where the objective range is only about 1 inch. You can easily move someone in or out of there, up and down, like off of a roof. Or my favorite, if they dare get too close to the edge of the board, you can just blip them out of existence.
Yeah. That's just, it's just a really good one. POW, kind of low, but that's AC. But the ability to mess with your opponent is really, really good.
Yeah, it's basically the heavy displacer, but in a Cypher.
Yeah. And then Recurrent Apotheosis. I like this. Target a friendly warrior model. Replace target model with a solo from your reserve. The replaced model is destroyed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring out my badass solos.
Yeah, let's remind everyone that the Devine Tempest is a solo.
Yes. I'm going to bring out some really good solos.
Yeah.
It's just a good way to, bring out things quick and easy without having to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're going to lose a troop, but that's the reason why you have the Grafter.
That's why you have the Grafter.
So you're like, I'm going to sacrifice this guy. Here's a Devine Tempest. Grafter brings him back.
Yep.
Yeah. But that was the only ones that I took that was AC specific. Did you take something else that was?
There were 2 others that I took just to sort of round them out, because the AC is kind of like the martial worlds. I like all their custom options, except for the one I just talked about. So for the Furies, I also took a Trophic Decomposer, which it's a PAL 2, but it inflicts corrosion. So just adding to the giant bag of BS that is corrosion. Mm-hmm. Lets you throw that out there. And Cankerbane. And Cankerbane is in my opinion, is a really fun one. You target a friendly unit. That's a unit, so basically anything you like. And its melee attacks gain corrosion. And that's really the end of the conversation about that. It's just, corrosion is so good in this game because your damage goes off of multiples of armor.
Yeah.
Every number you can reduce that armor by makes your job so much easier. So one of my favorite things about the AC is how easy that is for them and how they can arm most of their army with it. And it can make your silly little Armor 2 Vassal Raiders terrifying, because now they can just run up little fusion axes or whatever and just chew through stuff. It's beautiful.
So in summation of all of this that we've gone through, one, I like this army. I like it because it's got, the shenanigans. Mm-hmm. I love the models. The models are really good. It's one of my favorite factions to choose from. I'll probably steal my friend's army and just, play it. But it does have its weakness. It's very low armored, very easy to hit, but it has a lot of recursion if you play it correctly.
Yes, it does punish you for making mistakes. Is what I usually warn people about it.
Yeah. So
your troops can walk through walls, great, but you have to get them to the wall and you have to make them survive once they're through it.
Correct. So I mean, you've got to make sure you protect them using models that give cover, cards that give cover. You've just got to make sure that you protect them as they're coming around.
And I'm going to go back to what you said at the start of this episode. Like, I don't think there's any army where synergy is as important as it is for the AC.
Yeah, because they have to have it to survive.
Yeah.
I really like this army. I really love the models. Like I said, I'm most likely going to buy this. I'll probably pick up a bunch at Warfare Weekend because I know that they always do really good deals on Warcaster at it, and pick up whatever I can from there, and then just buy whatever I need and be my second army. Because I've already started thinking of paint schemes. So
that's how we get you.
But I dig this a lot. It would be my second army if had the cash wise. I'm sure we may have missed like some super secret tech that I have no clue. But I like this a lot.
It's
one of my
fun.
most fun.
After you get past the frustration of your first few games, you will really, really have a good time with this.
Yeah. This one is not like a high skill cap. It's a high synergy cap. And the fact that you need to make sure remind yourself, these guys can't really take a hit, but I can bring them back constantly if I'm smart.
Yep.
Keep the Grafter around. Keep the Vassal Boss around. Keep Raxis where available. Just keep all of that. And then, run up stuff that you don't care about to cause problems. Yeah. Go ahead and kill my Whispers of Death. Please.
See what happens.
First version. You just got to make sure that, whenever you do it, if you're playing against this model, you need to make sure that you can kill the Whisper then and what comes out immediately. Don't let it go through, anything else.
Yeah, you better have a plan.
Yeah. And plan ahead to take it out. I do have to agree with a lot of people. They said that, their base troops really aren't that great, and they aren't. Mm-hmm. But the Talons are.
Yeah.
And the Raiders
Talons are. And the base troops, to be fair, do what they're supposed to. They're supposed to be cheap cannon fodder. They do a great job at it.
Yeah.
You can get them where your opponent doesn't want them, and you can use a lot of these tricks to either bring them back, make them tougher, trade them out for solos by surprise. It's just fun. Yeah. It's a fun army.
It is. I'd be kind of curious. It says, we know that Privateer Press is kind of on I don't want to say a downturn of Warcaster right now, just for the simple fact that they're getting War Machine up and running hardcore 4th edition, or Mark IV if you want to call it. But we've got one more faction to go, and I don't know what they're going to do after that. But
we know monsters are coming, so we're going to have to do a monster episode at some point.
Yeah. I might have to maybe get a Privateer Press employee to come on and talk about that stuff.
Perchance.
They would do it. All I gotta do is say please, and they're like, "Yes, Gonzo, we'll do it." But guys, that is our faction review. We are not done. Our next episode, we're going to talk about scenarios. We're just going to go down each scenario and say what we like, what we didn't like, what needs to be changed. Because I do believe a few scenarios need to be changed. Because I don't think, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just a lot of people haven't played the scenarios as much as like a War Machine game because the game came out during the pandemic.
Yeah. It's still a young game, and that's kind of cool in a certain way.
If you really think about it, this game is, in play-wise, is only about a year old.
Yeah.
Because people really haven't been playing it until the last year or so. So there's not much, things going on with it. And it is picking up, and we're seeing more and more people, if you're on the Discords, or if you're, on the Facebook group, more people are picking it up, more people are testing it out. It's a lot cheaper than other alternatives. It is also a lot more dynamic, in my opinion.
It doesn't feel like any game that I personally have played, and I really enjoy that about it. It's small, but everything dies and everything recycles, and it's right back on the field. It's a wild game.
Yeah. One of my best. It is probably the only. Actually, I could take that back. I will be bringing Grimkin to Warfare Weekend, but I definitely bring my ISA. Because me and you have to get a game in at least once.
Oh, yeah.
Even if we have to play after hours and I lock all the doors and kick everybody out.
So if you were coming to Warfare Weekend, bring some Warcaster. You can probably catch either one of us at any given time.
Yeah, and we'll
Be
definitely
happy to throw down with you.
Yeah, I mean, come and hang out. If you're like someone that's like, hey, I don't have a lot of models, but I want to paint, we have a hobby room for people to do that, and it's a really cool hobby room. We got some really helpful people in there. And if you want to get demos, and like, you know, you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I've seen Warcaster, and, you know, Jonathan's working on stuff, you ask him for a demo. He will more than welcome a good demo.
I adore doing demos. It's one of my favorite things. And that was not sarcastic at all. I realized it sounded like it. I actually love that.
Because we like people playing this game, and it's a lot of fun. Like I said, our next episode, we're going to talk about scenarios and go over each one of them. So it may be a little lengthy, but we're going to try to make sure we don't bog down on anything.
Yeah.
Because I do know that I want to test some out and change a few because of what you have to do to get some of this stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the scenarios, in my opinion, are not very lively, and I think they need to be switched around and checked out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode.
Yeah. Other than that, guys, we appreciate it. Like I says, real life got in the way, and we had to push this back. I know that y'all look forward to it, and it's actually really cool that everybody was like, shit, where's my episode? We appreciate you liking this. If you like other things, make sure you go check out John's War Budgies. I mean, shouldn't have to even say this. If you're listening to this, you know all about that.
So the Jericho Reach, we are putting out episode 8 this weekend. So if you want to get in and help decide who wins, right now the Marchers are leading the charge for the Reach, but the AC is just one victory behind them.
Nice.
And we've only got 3 territories left to go. So get out there, play some games, send them in. There's instructions in the videos on how to get involved. It's been fun, and we only got a few episodes left.
Yeah, which I think is very unique. People say, you know, content creators, and they just make, you know, stuff like this or, you know, painting videos. You actually are involving the community, which I think is an amazing thing. There's a reason why you were on Privateer Press, you know, one of their Prime episodes, because you do good things for the community, and it's not just, hey, look at me. You're like, hey, look at us doing cool shit.
Yeah, it's a fun game, and I want to share it with people.
Yeah, guys, if we don't see you at Warfare Weekend, maybe we can see you at Adepticon or, you know, whatever. But if you need any advice or you want any questions, or, you know, maybe you want to come on the show, we don't mind. We'll have guests on here.
Yep.
You can come on and say, Gonzo, you were completely fucking wrong about AC. Let me tell you. And I'll be like, school me, buddy.
That's what I'm going to say the moment the camera's off, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we appreciate everything. Take care of yourself. Look after each other. And we're out. Let's play that cool music.
Yep. We'll see you next time.